don't know what to do.
I think he's just
I have an exam tomorrow,
just
and
like
my
anxiety.
We broke up, and
killing me.
I'm pretty sure she was talking shit about me. I ought to get a
don't want to do from my bed today.
But they make fun of me.
I wish I could go back in time and change things. And yeah, that's what I would do. Just don't quote me on that.
Today is such an exciting day for me because we're gonna go tour a potential office where I'm gonna start working in a couple of weeks, and I have always wanted to work. Like, I've always wanted to work, so I am so excited to finally have an office, have my place, go to work, like wake up early. I don't know, I'm just so excited. So it's gonna be really cool to go and tour the office. I'm gonna bring you guys with me. Like I said, we're just touring it. I don't know if that one's gonna be the one and like the building and everything, but I have really good vibes about it. And then tonight I have Bad Bunny's concert. Es mi cuarto concierto. It's my fourth concert, guys. El primer concierto al que fui fue en el 2017, cuando Bad Bunny como que estaba literalmente empezando. Y después el segundo que fui fue para el último tour del mundo. Después fuimos a Un Verano Sin Ti y ahora vamos a Nadie Sabe Lo Que Está Pasando. Nadie sabe lo que va a pasar mañana. Entonces, I am so freaking excited. We've like literally turned it into like a tradition at this point with my sister to go to every single one of them. But my parents already said that this one is the last one that they're paying for. O sea, después de esto me toca pagarlo a mí si quiero ir. But yeah, it's our fourth concert, which I am so excited about. I love this album, so I'm so excited to jam out for it. But estoy muy feliz. O sea, va a ser un día demasiado cool. I'm really excited to go see the office. My dad arrives today, so we're gonna go to lunch and then go see the office with him and then come back home and get ready for the concert. It's gonna be a really cool weekend. I'm really happy, and I'm really happy to bring you guys along with me. You're actually kidding me. I am freaking out. The office, the address for the office is 1111. 1111. You don't understand. It's meant to be. It's meant to be. We are so ready. Yes! Oh my god, you look so good. Look at that! Slay! Yes, queen! I am so excited. Let's go.
El sexo ni la marihuana buena.
Yo no la voy a sacar. Mi mamá menos y pues tú menos.
Ok, vamos y compramos el... Ella no es puta, ella es mujer alegre, fina, pero le gusta la calle PR diva. You guys don't understand how sick the concert was. O sea, la pasé impresionante. He sang his old songs. It was so, so good. Like, probably not my favorite one. I think my favorite one was Un Verano Sin Ti, last concert. But this concert, like, second. So, so insane. We were so close to him. I think closer than last time. So that's why this was, like, really exciting. But Un Verano Sin Ti is probably one of my favorite albums. I don't know, I love all of his concerts. It was really, really good. And now today's Saturday, my friend Anate, who I had lunch with yesterday from Babson, she's here, so she's gonna come over. We're gonna have lunch, go to the beach, and then my friends from Miami, they texted me, they just called me, they were like, hi, we're here, like where I live. So we're gonna go meet up with them, have lunch with them, spend the day at the beach. As you guys can see, I have all of my boxes from Boston. I'm not even gonna show you guys how many boxes I have porque it's actually like embarrassing. I have so many things to figure out. My mom was like, if you don't figure them out, you're not traveling next week, because I'm traveling next week. So I need to get that shit done like ASAP. Pero yeah, ese es mi plan for today. That's what I'm gonna do. Beach, friends, and then figure out my life later.
Bro, I freaked out.
I'm still a child. I got a milkshake. Today is Memorial Day weekend, which is technically a holiday, but I had to upload this week's episode, so I came back really quickly to finish uploading that. We were having brunch at the beach and just like the Memorial Day brunch that they had. I thought it was just going to be burgers and like American food because that's what my mom said, but they had everything. They had sushis, they had oysters, I ate so freaking much. I actually need to like lay down for a little bit, but I'm going to go lay down at the beach once I finish uploading all of this and a couple more things that I needed to do. So I'm just getting that done, catching up with that. I'm so tired. I went to bed at 4 a.m. last night because I had to do some work. Like, guys, I could get all of my work done in like 5 minutes, pero living at home, I don't know why, like, my time doesn't, como que no me rinde el tiempo. Like, I'm not as productive and like as focused. I don't know, like, I'm talking to my mom or talking to my sister or something. So it's hard to get shit done quickly and like effectively. So I don't know why. Like in Boston, I get things done so quickly. And here, like I'll try focusing and it just doesn't get itself done. So I was like, you guys go to the beach. I'm gonna come back, finish my freaking work, and then I'll catch up with you guys later. So I'm trying to finish it and then go hang out with them. Also, because like I said, it's Memorial, so a bunch of my friends are also at the beach club. So I kind of want to see them too and like have fun too. It's a holiday, you know, but prior, like first things first, I needed to finish this, so I'm gonna finish it. Unpacking is going. I mean, not really. It's not going. Actually, okay. I am unpacking everything. Not everything. Almost everything is out of the boxes, but I can't really finish organizing it today because my dad just called me. I have a meeting in 1 hour that I need to go to. So I'm going to finish unpacking. Hello? I feel like the lighting changed. I need to finish opening boxes as much as I can and then run over to that meeting to look at another office space and then come back y como que terminar de empacar todo esto and then go to dinner tonight. But my plan was to unpack everything, have everything done by the end of the day, and I guess I'm not gonna be able to do that. Los papás latinos a último minuto acento. Okay, so, but okay, I got this. Got this. Mi mamá se trajo literalmente todas las cosas de mi apartamento de la cocina, hasta como seasonings, y ahora she has no idea where to fit anything. I literally had to devour my lunch because I'm running late. Like I said, my dad didn't even tell me that I had the meeting today. Pero bueno, I'm on my way. Thank God I showered this morning, and then I'll come back and I'll finish unpacking. Let's run to see a potential office. I think this one's gonna be the one, actually. I'm so freaking late to dinner. I had dinner at 7. It's 7 and I'm leaving my house right now. Welcome to my life. I am never on time to anything. Something that you guys have always asked me to talk about is plastic surgery. So we're going to talk about it on this episode. But before I get into plastic surgery, I also wanted to talk about insecurities because I feel like insecurities and plastic surgery go very hand in hand. And the first thing that we really need to address about insecurities is that everybody has them. The most flawless person you know, the most confident person you know, also has their insecurities. That's simply called being human. And there's nothing wrong with having insecurities. Like I said, you can be super, super confident, love yourself incredibly, and there's still going to be things that you don't like about yourself. There's still going to be things that you want to change about yourself. And there's nothing shameful about that, and you should never feel guilty about your insecurities, about certain parts of your body or your face that you don't like. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Don't feel guilty about feeling insecure. That doesn't mean that you don't love yourself. It simply means that you're human, okay? Somebody with zero insecurities would be perfect, and no one's perfect. None of us are. Even the top tier, most beautiful celebrities that you know, I promise you they're also insecure about something. We all have insecurities. And that is completely, completely fine. So that's the first thing. If you feel insecure about something, don't beat yourself up. Don't think that you need to love that thing that you don't feel comfortable with. It's okay. It's okay to not like something. So you can love yourself completely and still feel insecure about something or still want to change something. So if that's your case, welcome to the club. Welcome to the world of being a human being. So let's chill with that. Because I feel like nowadays, everything that comes with like self-love and confidence and everything, it like tells you to be perfect and you have to always, always love yourself. No. We're human. There's times where we're not going to like ourselves. There's times where we're going to wake up and not feel as cute. There's other days where we're going to feel like we can literally walk on a runway. That's fine. And that's how most of us are. So that's the first thing about insecurities. Like I never, ever expect to be fully okay with everything about me because there's just simply things that I'm not okay with, things that I don't like, things that I wanted to change, hence me getting plastic surgery. So that's something that it's never been like a goal in the back of my head to be like super, super okay with everything. I just try to love myself as much as I can, but I'm also not an unrealistic person. Like I also know that I'm a human being, that I'm flawed, and that it's okay to not like those flaws. Obviously, the goal is to love and accept most of them, but if there's some that you really, really just can't get through, that's okay. I personally like to think that there's 3 types of insecurities. The first one is insecurities that you can change naturally and that you can change yourself. The second one is insecurities that you can only change through cosmetic procedures. And the third one is insecurities that you literally cannot change. Like surgery can't change them, you can't change them. And I'm going to give you an example of each one of my insecurities that belongs to each one of those categories. So insecurities that you can change yourself. One of them for me was my body and weight loss. Obviously, we all know that I struggled with an eating disorder, so that is not a healthy and natural way of changing that. But there are natural ways of changing that. Exercising, eating healthy. I do have a better relationship with my stomach now. Like my stomach was always such a huge insecurity of mine. And I started doing a lot of abs. And now I can kind of see a little bit of abs. Low key. I do kind of have abs now after like 3 years of literally doing a lot of abs because it was such a huge insecurity of mine. But I didn't get a liposuction, you know? Like I could change that in a natural way. Acne. I know that acne, not everybody can solve it, like with just a cream and a topical cream or just Accutane. I know that a lot of people like really struggle with that, but that's also something that you can, in a way, quote unquote, naturally change. So that's like the first category. And I hope that you guys understand what I mean by insecurities that you could change yourself naturally. The easiest one to understand is just weight loss, going to the gym, eating healthy, exercising, things like that. The second one is insecurities that you can only change through cosmetic procedures, aka the bump on my nose. How else was I supposed to change that? It's a bone. Like, how else was I supposed to change that? I can't go to the gym to fix my nose. The only way to change that was through cosmetic procedure. Getting bigger boobs. How are you going to grow your boobs? Boobs don't grow. They're not a muscle. They're fat. You can't grow fat. You can only grow muscles. So that's also something that I couldn't change in a quote unquote natural way. And then the third one, insecurities that you literally cannot change, my height. I'm 6 feet tall, and as much as some of you may say like, oh my God, that's so cool, like model height. Yeah, because you're not 6 feet tall. You know how insecure I felt growing up where every single guy was about yay tall up to my shoulders, and all of the boys just did not even want to look at me because I was taller than them. To this day, I still feel insecure about my height. Every single time that I walk into a place, everybody looks up and then they look down to my feet to make sure that I'm not wearing heels. It's something that I'm still a little insecure about. Cellulite, stretch marks. Those are also two things that I was insecure about, but none of those three things I could change with plastic surgery or naturally. I can't get my knees done and chop off my feet to be shorter. I can't do that. Cellulites and stretch marks. Sure, there's a lot of creams that say that it's going to help. It's really not. Like, you're still going to have your stretch marks. They're going to be there. So those are sort of like the three types of insecurities that I have come across in my life and that I think a lot of us experience. And you can break it down into like those three categories: the things that you can change yourself, the things that you have to go to the doctor to change, and the things that you literally nobody or the doctor can change. The last one, insecurities that you can't change, the easiest thing for that is just accepting them. And it's literally, it's basically your only choice, guys. It's basically your only choice. What am I going to do about my height? Other than just accept it, live with it, try to like it, try to enjoy it, try to think that it's nice, but there's nothing that I can do about it. So when there's absolutely nothing that you can do about that insecurity, the only way to feel good about it is to just accept it, live with it, and learn that, like, there's nothing I can do. You know, there's nothing I can do. Like, that's it. That is it. My hips, for example, when I was struggling with an eating disorder and I wanted to get really, really skinny, even when I got like really, really skinny, my hips, they're a bone. Like, they were in place. I couldn't get any skinnier than my hips because it's a bone. It's my skeletal structure. I literally couldn't do anything about it. So I was like, okay, that's as skinny as I can go. Which is also, again, really bad and unhealthy example. But it does show you that there's some parts of your body that you cannot change. And the only thing that has helped me through the years is accepting those things. My stretch marks and cellulite, nowadays, kind of like them. Because I've just learned to accept them. I've learned to ignore them. I've learned not to give them that importance and that power because I know that I can't change them. Insecurities that you can change yourself naturally, try it. If there's something that you can change about yourself naturally, go ahead. Go and do it. If it's going to make you feel happier, if it's going to make you feel better, go for it. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. That you feel happy, that you feel good, that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, okay, I love you. I love you, girl. There's some that you can do yourself, by all means. Please, in a healthy way, I cannot stress and emphasize that enough. Never, ever, ever, please, for the love of God, do anything unhealthy just to get to look a certain way. But if you're doing it a healthy, proper, good way, by all means, go ahead. And now, finally, the second one, which is the one that you guys really want to talk about that pertains to plastic surgery, is those insecurities that you can't change, but the doctor can. And before I dive into my specific plastic surgeries and we talk about those and like everything about it, one thing that is super important that I want to make very, very clear. Me talking about plastic surgery and anybody that you see online talking about cosmetic procedures that they've gotten done or plastic surgery that they've gotten done is not promoting plastic surgery. I am not telling you to go get plastic surgery. I am not encouraging you to go get plastic surgery. We're simply talking about it. And no, it's not normalizing plastic surgery. Plastic surgery has been a normal thing. It's always been a thing. It's super normal for people to get plastic surgery, and it's been happening for years. My dad's a plastic surgeon, and he's been doing surgeries for over 30 years. And I promise you that plastic surgery was a thing before that. Plastic surgery has been around for decades and decades. So no, talking about it is not normalizing it. It's not making it a new thing. It's always been a thing. People just weren't talking about it. And I and many other people have seen how toxic it can be not to talk about plastic surgery. And that's why we're openly talking about it now. One of my favorite videos of all times talking about plastic surgery and like this topic was an interview that Oprah Winfrey did to Michael Jackson when he was alive. May he rest in peace. And Oprah was asking him about his plastic surgeries. Honestly, kind of in like a very aggressive way as to like, why have you gotten so many things? And like, we all know you've gotten things done. And Michael Jackson's answer was so precise and good. His answer was, if everybody in Hollywood who's gotten plastic surgery left town for the weekend, Los Angeles would be empty. And that's a very clear response. Almost everybody has gotten plastic surgery. So no, it's not a new thing. It's not normalized nowadays. It's been normal. What wasn't normal was talking about it. But why are we talking about it nowadays? Because it's such a toxic thing not to. Because it can create so many insecurities for other people if we don't talk about it. If I don't talk about my nose job, if I don't talk about my boob job, if I don't tell you guys that my eyebrows are microbladed, when you look at me, you're going to think her nose is so beautiful and like naturally perfect. And then you're going to think, why don't I have that nose? Oh, I paid for it. You're going to look at me and think her boobs are really nice, perky, tall, whatever. I also paid for them. The amount of comments that I get, you have amazing eyebrows. I love your eyebrows. I wish my eyebrows looked like that. The first thing I say is, thank you, but I got them microbladed. I wasn't born with these eyebrows. I wasn't naturally made like this. When somebody tells me as well, you have a beautiful nose. Thank you. I got it done because I refuse. And please never ask me to stop talking about my plastic surgeries because I refuse to do the same thing that once upon a time was done to me, of seeing celebrities and people online look absolutely flawless, compare myself to them, think that that is the way that they were naturally born and made, and then feel worse about myself, thinking like, why the hell wasn't I made like that? When instead they could have simply just told me, I got it done. And I got it done is not an encouragement to go do it yourself. I got it done is simply telling you, don't compare your natural nose to my plastic fake made nose. That is simply all that we're saying. And I do encourage you that if you ever get plastic surgery, don't hide it. Don't make it a secret. I know that you kind of want to like hide it in a way so that people don't like judge you because come on, people are judgy. And then when they look at you, they think like, oh, she's cute. Oh yeah, but she got her boobs done and she got her nose done and she did that, you know? That's what we try to avoid. And that's why a lot of people don't talk about it. But I please encourage you to do so. And I don't care about that. I don't care if like somebody says, oh, she's really pretty. Oh yeah, but she got her things done. Okay, yes, I did. Yes, I did. And what? Like, what's the issue with that? So that's something that I think is super important. And I just wanted to make very, very clear before I start talking about my procedures that me talking about it is not me telling you to go get it done. It's simply me explaining to you the things that I got done, why I got them done. It's also a topic that you guys have asked me to talk about. And I thought it was also important to explain where in this like spectrum of insecurities those things fit, which was in the second one, like I said, of an insecurity that I couldn't naturally fix, but that it wasn't impossible to fix. I could get it done with a doctor. And it did make me feel a lot more confident and a lot better. And at the end of the day, I want you to feel as good as you can. I want you to feel as happy with yourself as you can. And if that for me meant getting some things done, then I was going to do them. You might think different. You might think I'm never going to get things done. And if I don't like it, then I need to accept it. Okay, by all means, accept it. I really wasn't okay with it. And if I could find a solution to it, then I did. I found a solution to it. But okay, enough of that said. I hope you guys got like the gist of what I was saying with the types of insecurities and with me talking about this topic, that it's not me telling you, go book your appointment tomorrow. No. Okay, so let's start with the first thing that I got done, which I think was my eyebrows. My eyebrows were something, guys, that I was actually so insecure about. I could not leave my house without having my eyebrows done and fill them in. I could literally just not wear any makeup, but my eyebrows had to be done. If I was going to FaceTime somebody, I would draw my eyebrows. If I was going to even leave my room to go talk to my parents and my sister, I would draw my eyebrows on. It just, for me, it was something that made me super insecure. I feel like the eyebrows are like the frame to your face and they really structure your face. And I had zero eyebrows. So it just, I didn't like it. I didn't like when I looked at myself in the mirror. I did not like it. I did not feel pretty at all. Like I said, one of my biggest insecurities, and to prove that to you, my microbladed started fading and I literally ran to go buy an eyebrow pencil because I cannot see myself without eyebrows. I hate it. I hate my face without eyebrows. I almost started crying about it the other day because I was like, I need to go back to the salon right now and get my eyebrows done again. I do have my appointment already booked. That's how insecure I feel about my eyebrows. So that's something that I decided to do. I was like, okay, I like that. It's a solution to my problem. It makes me feel so much better, so confident, really good about myself. And at the end of the day, that's all that I wanted, just to feel good with myself. And accepting my lack of eyebrows was not an option for me because I knew that there was a way to get it done. So that's why I was like, okay, if I have the option, why would I just accept it? You know, like it wasn't like my height where I literally have to accept it. I was like, I can fix this in a way and I can make myself feel better and I can find a way to look at myself every day in the mirror and think, girl, you look cute. So that's what I did. That's the first thing that I got done. Like, I guess like cosmetic thing. It's not a surgery, but it's a cosmetic procedure, a permanent cosmetic procedure, but it does fade. So I've had to go get it done. I've got it done twice, and this is going to be my third time. I have an appointment later this week. It is an expensive thing to do, so I understand that it's not an option for everybody to go get cosmetic procedures done, but I've been saving up for it. And I feel a lot better with them. And I'm not going to apologize for getting something done that made me feel better. At the end of the day, I have to live with me, not you. I have to live with me. And I wanted to feel good with me. And that's something that made me feel good with me. The second thing that I got done was my boob job. I got that done. When was that? That was freshman year of college. So like 3 years ago. I got it done because, okay, growing up my entire life, like as a prepubescent little girl, I had zero boobs. And then 13, 14, 15 come around, still like a board, zero boobs. And hello, I did get made fun of it for growing up. Literally got made fun of it for growing up. If you have not heard my episode, You're Not Karma, when we talk about bullies, that is one of the examples I gave. This girl, one time, she asked me, she was like, why are you wearing a bra if you don't have boobs? And it was a training bra. Because I thought my little boobies were coming, you know, I thought they were growing. So I got excited and I put on a freaking training bra. And then she made fun of me for it because she had very nice boobs. I must say that. She does have very nice boobs. Actually, I don't know nowadays, but back then she had very nice boobs. So I literally got made fun of it for it. Being a flat-chested girl, itty-titty-bitty committee was not an option for me. It did not make me feel good. I would buy every single bombshell bra at Victoria's Secret, stuff like whatever I could find in there, socks usually, because toilet paper, I found that toilet paper, I found that sometimes if something would happen, it would get wet, you know, if I was like sweating or something, and then it would stick to me. So socks were a really good thing to stuff inside my bra. But it is something that made me feel very insecure. And that's why I got my boobs done. Okay, that's not why I got my boobs done. So I felt really insecure about them. And then when I was like 15, 16, something like that, I started gaining a lot of weight. And that's why when I gained 35 pounds in a year. And when I gained that, my boobs grew. Because like I said, boobs are fat. So I got fat and I had fat on my chest. It was awesome. They looked great. Now I could literally wear like bralettes and I had boobs. Mwah. Like so good. Loved it. Felt really good. But I did not feel good with my body. And that's a whole different topic. I lost all of the 35 pounds back. And what happened to my boobs? Not only did they go away, but then they like dripped down. Completely just because it's, you know, fat, gross. And then when there's nothing, bloop. So now they were small and saggy. Oh, now it was even worse than before. At least before I was a flat-chested, but they were perky. Now it was flat-chested and dripping down. So that made me feel even worse about it. And that's when I was like, I cannot. Like I could literally, I hated wearing bikinis. Absolutely hated it. Hated taking any picture with a V-neck, anything. I just felt like a child again. And at this point, I was 18. So that's when I got my boob job done. Before, I was a 32A, and now I'm a 34C. And I got 128 cc's. My implants are made out of silicone. And I got the surgery done. It honestly didn't hurt as much. Like when you wake up from the surgery, it feels like somebody's like pressing down on your chest. So it's a little bit hard to breathe. I was just like, you know, like I also have such a weird thing with like anesthesia, like general body anesthesia. When I was laying down on the surgical table before they started, they were like, okay, we're starting with the anesthesia now. And then we're going to start counting down from 10 and you're going to knock out. And my ass was like, that's not going to happen. It's not going to hit me. And then she started counting down like 10, 9, whatever. And I was like, I'm awake. I'm going to stay awake. I don't know why I thought that I was going to fight off the anesthesia and that it was not going to hit me or something. I don't know why I thought that. And then 5 seconds later, the doctor, aka my dad, and before anybody asks, yes, you're allowed to get plastic surgery from your family members in Colombia. Obviously, I was going to get them done with my dad. He's the best plastic surgeon in Colombia. Why would I not do that? So when my dad was like, hi, sweetie, like, how do you feel? I was like, did you start already? And he was like, we're done. It was so weird. I thought that he was literally telling me like, hey, sweetie, we're about to start. Like, are you ready? And he was like, we're done. Like, you're out of here. Like, goodbye. So anesthesia is such a weird thing. Waking up from it, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like the feeling of time passing by and it feeling like 5 minutes. I feel like that's what a coma would feel like, and it was horrible. I don't know. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's just a weird feeling. I don't know. So I woke up from it. It felt like somebody was like pressing down on my chest. So I was like, catching my breath. And the first thing that I did, I was like, I just grabbed my boobs to make sure that I had boobs. And I was like, yes. That was the first thing. Like after my dad told me like, no, we're done. I looked at him and I was like, yes. I was so happy. I was actually so happy. I went home that day. I had to take just like Advils, like painkillers here and there, but nothing crazy. It wasn't like I was on like some crazy antibiotics or like, it wasn't honestly such a painful thing. It is painful to move. So you are in bed rest for, I was in bed rest for like a week and a half, something like that. You can't obviously lift your arms up and like carry things, push things, like movements off limits, really hurts. So yeah, you're in bed rest for a little bit. If I had to get up from my bed, like this movement of like, if you're laying down and getting up, you're using your chest muscles, and that was really painful. So if I wanted to get up from my bed, I had to call my mom, and then she would like hug me and like lift me up. And that was pretty much it. Like after a week and a half, I started doing some movement with my dad. He would be like, okay, lift your arms up like slowly, 10 times like this, and then back and forth. But this was like a week and a half later, almost 2 weeks later, to start moving, because you can't just lay flat like a chicken and not move your muscles. Your muscles will stay stiff, So you have to like start moving here and there. But honestly, recovery was super easy. That does depend person by person. It does depend if you got a breast reduction or if you got a breast augmentation. I've heard that reductions hurt a lot more and the recovery is a lot more painful than augmentation. And like I said, it's just person to person. I have a pretty high pain tolerance. Like I've pierced all of my ears by myself. I've gotten tattoos and none of that hurts me. I have a really high pain tolerance, or so I like to think. So it wasn't really a painful thing for me. I would recommend that if you go get them done, you get them done with my dad because they look great, super natural. Like nowadays, people don't even know that I have a boob job. Like unless I tell you I have a boob job, people don't know. They look really natural. They're squishy and natural too. Oh, I also got this question asked if you lose sensitivity on your nipple, which some women do, not to scare you, but majority of us don't lose sensitivity in your nipple. So that's a thing. Also, what else did you guys ask me about? Scarring. I was really, really anal about scarring. I put a lot of creams and everything just to make sure that I wasn't going to scar. And nowadays, I don't have scars. Nowadays, you look at my boobs and it literally looks like I don't have anything. It does depend on the type of cut that the doctor does. Again, it depends if it's a breast reduction, breast augmentation. You might have like a cut around your nipple and that's how they do it. Or they might cut like down, like on your skin, and then it's kind of like a T. So like down your skin and then on the sides. That one is going to probably leave more of a scar since you are cutting like the skin on your actual boob versus just the nipple. Mine was just the nipple, so I don't have anything there pretty much. And for my procedure, I wasn't looking really to transform my boobs. I wasn't looking to get double Ds and have huge, perky, voluptuous boobs. That's not what I wanted. I just wanted them to look small still relatively small. Like if you look at me, I don't have a double D, you know? I don't look crazy. they're still modest in a way, but I just wanted a little bit something. And I really, for me, the biggest thing was lifting them up. Like after I lost the weight and they fell, that really, I could not look at myself naked. I personally felt really ugly and uncomfortable with that. And I wanted to love myself. I wanted to feel really good about myself. And that's not something that I could have fixed with working out. That's not something that a moisturizer could have fixed for me. The only way to fix that was through a boob job. So I got my titties done. And I love my boobies now. But I'm not telling you to go get a boob job. I'm just telling you my story. And then the last thing that I've gotten done, which is the only other thing that I would get done. I don't have anything else in my body that I would want to change, would want to fix, or my face. Not going to touch any other part of my face. The only part of my face, like facial feature of my face that I touched was my nose. And I didn't even get a full on nose job. So growing up, as a child, I had the most beautiful nose. I will insert a picture because I had the most beautiful, beautiful nose. It was so small and it looks like this one. It was small and I didn't have a bump and just loved my nose. But here's the thing about your nose keeps growing until you're like, actually, I don't want to say that because I don't know if that's true. It's either like 18 or 25. Your nose and your ears keep growing until you're like 25 or something like that. So last year is when I got my nose filed, but the past couple of years before that, over the last like 3 years, I started noticing a bump that was not there before, had never been there before. And I was like, okay, hello, what is this? Like, who are you? And where did you come from? And then the bump started getting bigger, and then the bump started getting bigger and bigger and bigger until it was a huge bump. And I had a bump on my nose that I had never had there before. And even my family started noticing. They were like, what happened to your, like, where did that come? Like, did you grow a second nose or something? You know, like it was weird, but it just started growing and I grew a bump, which is fine. You know, having a bump on your nose is not a bad thing. I honestly love bumps on certain people. Like there's some people's noses that I see with bumps, small, big ones. And I'm like, you have a beautiful nose. Like there's noses with bumps that I think are stunning. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with having a bump, but I had just never had one. It was not the face that I grew up with. It was not the nose that I was used to having. So when I started having this bump, I started feeling insecure about it. And I was like, where did this come from? If I had grown up my entire life with that bump, I probably would have not taken it off and I would have just left it like that and been like, that's my nose and I like it. But I didn't grow up with it. So having this like new nose in a way made me feel insecure. My profile pictures before didn't have a bump. And over the last 3 years, I started noticing a big bump. Like you guys are going to judge me and tell me then the pictures, it doesn't look big. But compared to no bump, it was a big bump. And it just made me feel really insecure. I didn't know how to take pictures. I didn't know how to angle my face. I just did not feel pretty. And my face is something that I look at every single day. Like all of us. We have to look at ourselves in the mirror every single day. And I didn't like what I was seeing. I felt really insecure about it. I learned to contour the crap out of my nose because that is something that I'm good at. If I don't like something in my face, I will turn to makeup first and try to fix it that way. But I have to take my makeup off at the end of the day. I have to take my makeup off and then I have to feel insecure again. And it was an insecurity that, like my boobs, I couldn't go to the gym for. I couldn't fix my nose any other way than getting it done. And since my specific procedure was very simple because it was only getting rid of the bump, it wasn't breaking the bump, which is what a nose job is. Mine was just filing the bump. So I didn't even get a nose job. You can't even call it a nose job because it wasn't. A nose job is under general anesthesia and they break the bump of your nose and then they file the crap out of it. And then if you're adding like a tip, which that's also a different type of nose job, that's also a nose job. But those are all under general anesthesia. General anesthesia, you can't eat the night before or the morning of, and you go into like a surgical room, you know, to get a nose job, to get a boob job, things like that. What I got done, I had breakfast that morning. It was with local anesthesia. So my dad did it, obviously. My dad only pinched around my nose and then he put the anesthesia. That did kind of hurt a little bit. Just 'cause I hate needles. I know I have tattoos, but I hate needles. Like if you're going to draw my blood, I will faint. I don't. Oh, it gives me goosebumps, which is weird because I've gotten so many things done with needles. Anyways, pinched me, put the anesthesia all over my nose, and then it's weird. It's going to sound really disturbing, but he goes in with, it looks like a nail file, but it's obviously a cosmetic nail file that's really long. He goes in through one of your nostrils. I don't know. He does like a cut or something, I guess. Goes in through the nostril and then started shaving my nose. I had a hoodie and sweatpants on. It wasn't at a surgical room. It was at one of the cosmetic rooms where he does things like laser, facials, other small little cosmetic procedures that are not surgeries. That's where it was at. It was at one of those rooms at his clinic. I went in with sweatpants, hoodie. I had literally my AirPods on, my AirPods Max, because I told my dad, I was like, can I please listen to music? Ask your doctor. I was like, can I please listen to music? And he was like, yeah, okay. So I put Bat Bunny at the top of my lungs. I put the noise canceling thing because I was like, I don't want to hear a thing that's actually going to creep the crap out of me. And I just need to isolate myself as much as possible. Given that I was going to be awake and not under general anesthesia, I wanted to block out everything, which didn't entirely work because as he was shaving the bump in my nose, I could hear it internally. Like internally, I could hear the of my bump getting filed down and my bone getting scraped. And it sounds really bad. I was just like that. Like I was like squinting and like freaking out because of the sound. It was just like a very thing, you know? It wasn't painful at all. Like at all. It's not painful in any way. But it was just a feeling, you know? The sound, it was just disturbing. It was just like, make it stop. So he just kept going. It took 10 minutes, 15 minutes. The whole thing, just done. Scraped it, put some Band-Aids on. He was like, you're good to go. It literally took 5 minutes. So that's why you can't even call it a nose job. The technical word for it is called filing of the nasal dorsum. Nasal dorsum is the medical word for your bump. So just filing the nasal dorsum. Not every nose takes this and like needs this. Some noses need a nose job because when I posted it on TikTok, a lot of people went to my dad's office and were like, I want to get my bump filed just like your daughter. And my dad would do like the consultation and was like, I get it, but your nose needs an actual nose job, which is totally fine. Go for the actual nose job. But mine was not even an actual nose job. I went home 15 minutes later, just with the Band-Aids. You do swell up a lot. My under eyes, my eyelids, like the area here around your nose, it was all super poofy, super swollen. Again, I'm super anal with just like taking care of myself after any procedure. So I put a lot of creams, a lot of moisturizers, a lot of, what's that cream called? Arnica, I think that's what it's called, which helps down with the swelling. I ate pineapple like a crazy person. Like I think I ate a whole pineapple a day for a week and a half. And that honestly really, really did help with the swelling. A lot of ice bags on my face, a lot of ice. What else? My dad has this cream that he makes and sells as well. It's called Moratocin, and it helps with bruises like that. Like you have a bruise, put it on, it's gone the next day. Those are really deep bruises. So it did take me like 3 or 4 days to get rid of the bruises, but nothing compared to how long it would have taken if I hadn't used that cream that he makes. So I did take a lot of care with my nose after, and I did try everything that I could to avoid swelling, to avoid bruising, and it's obviously inevitable. You're going to swell, you're going to bruise up, but I did help it to, you know, speed up the recovery. And a week and a half later, bandages were off, nose was good. Still, obviously, a little swollen. It takes a lot, like, I don't know, maybe 3 months for the swelling to be fully freaking gone. But a week later, you can take the bandages off and go outside. Same thing with the boobs. 2 weeks later, I was on a plane back to Boston. like feeling good, lifting things, everything was fine. But the swelling does go all the way down months later. And they do drop down a little bit too. Like at first they're like really lifted and then they drop down a little bit too and then they get squishier. So that was just to tell you guys that like the fully swelling does take a lot of months, but you'll be good to go shortly after. And you can carry on with your life shortly after and then you just let that happen. You're not even going to notice the full swelling going down. Like you really need to just get through those first 2 weeks and then you're good to go. And going back to my nose, now my nose is something that I feel a lot more confident with. I love my nose. I love taking profile pictures and like side pictures. I feel a lot better. Now I look at myself every day and I'm like, you cute girl. I really like it. I love my nose. I feel super happy with it. And at the end of the day, I feel like that's the most important thing. And the most important thing that came with me and my procedures was feeling happy. Everything that I did was to feel the happiest that I could with myself. But like I said, it also comes with having loved so many other parts of my body, accepting so many other parts of my body, and then realizing that there were those 2 and 3, if you count my brows, 3 things that were making me feel really insecure. But I could make myself feel really happy. So that's why I got everything done. I personally don't think there's anything wrong against plastic surgery. That is also why my dad got into plastic surgery. My dad, growing up, he also felt insecure about a lot of his features. He didn't feel pretty. Like, he'll tell me he felt really ugly growing up as a kid, not pulling girls, things like that. And although he, like me, is a little chicken and hates needles, how funny, he's a doctor and he hates needles. Like, seriously, if he needs something and we're like, Dad, you need to go get that thing, he's like, nope. I'm like, don't pinch me. My dad hates needles and getting pinched and like getting anything done on himself. So he's never gotten anything done, obviously. But he wanted to help other people to feel the best that they could, the most beautiful that they could, the most confident that they could. And that's why he became a plastic surgeon. And I firmly believe that too. I believe that you should find ways. You have one life, guys. You should love and feel the best that you can, the happiest that you can with yourself in that one lifetime that you have. And if that means that you need to get certain things done cosmetically, again, I'm not telling you what to do. It's up to you. You live your life the way you want to live it. But if there's certain things that you do want to change to make yourself feel as happy as you can with yourself, as good as you can with yourself, as in love with yourself as you can, then do it. Because nothing is more important than your own happiness and then loving who you are. And that does not necessarily mean accepting everything about you that you don't like. I know it's a very controversial topic. I know that a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and a lot of people are going to be like, if you really loved yourself, then you wouldn't get things done. Then you didn't get the point of the video. I tried explaining it as best as I could, but that's sort of like my thoughts on plastic surgery, the things that I got done. I tried to answer as many of your questions that you guys had about like the procedures themselves. And that's also a little bit about like insecurities. We'll touch on insecurities further on in more episodes. But since we were talking about plastic surgery, I wanted to address insecurities a little bit as well. But that was it. That was my little plastic surgery journey. And I don't feel like it makes me more or less of like a person, like naturally pretty, you know? Like, I'll show you pictures of myself when I was a kid. I think I was a beautiful child. Like, hopefully my kid turns out like that. So, no, I don't think that it makes me fake or plastic or like I'm not naturally pretty. No. I was a naturally pretty kid, okay? And so are you. Everybody is naturally pretty. Again, each person decides how they feel about themselves and what they want to do with their body. So another thing that before I close off that just popped in mind, never judge someone for getting plastic surgery because you don't know what they have been through. You don't know how bad those insecurities have made them feel. So just because you don't agree with plastic surgery, just because you wouldn't get it done, never judge somebody for getting plastic surgery. You're not them. You've never been in their shoes. So that's something that I'm never going to do. Also, judge another person for getting plastic surgery, call them less or fake or whatever. You don't know them. You don't know their struggles. You don't know their pains. You don't know the reasons why they got the things they got done. So always remember to just be kind to everybody. That was the last thing that I wanted to say. And if you guys have any questions, let me know.